Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amazing. We kicked off the first session with over 40 participants. Very exciting. Thank you so much, session one. And I guess I could say that Teach the Future is in we are creating these third spaces in our own right, in our own way, as we meet with our Young Voices, our Young Voice Council, twice a month to learn about futures literacy. And we will get started here in just a moment. Randy, I'll pass it over to you to get us started, and then I'll share my screen.
Thank you, Lisa. Ethan, you have your hand raised. Can I help you with something?
I want to give an opinion about this incredible topic.
From our last session.
Yes,
Please go ahead.
okay. I want to talk about me. My name is Ethan. I am 12 years old, uh, and when I have 9 years, I feel a love with the birds, with nature, and with my communities. So I decide to take action and to give climate education to other communities and to my Nabe community. So we start that project where we invite the communities to program or for reforestation, and basically we are working in a better world. So that's my passion. I like it. Last month I want to go to Tamandua. I look the beautiful resplendent quetzal. I am a bird watcher, and I want that all boys of my community, and not just of my community in general, take action and be our young leaders. So, in my opinion, I want to build a better world, but I know that this cannot be lonely. We need to work together in a teamwork. So I like it. Now I see 1,000 of pages, and there be the three wild bilber and resplendent quetzal. I like birds, and yes, it's a good war. So we need to stop the contamination with tree earth, reduce, reuse, and recycle. But we need to work together, in my opinion, so we can do. It's not so late. and we have the opportunity to do the difference.
Thank you so much for your thoughts.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Ethan, for sharing. That was really brave and courageous. These are the exact spaces we would like youth to share what brings them ease, what brings them joy. And I heard nature was a theme. So I'm sure those who just presented in session one, I hope that that landed with you all.
Thank you.
Okay, Lisa, I'm going to get started. Thank you. So welcome to World Futures Day, Young Voices. This session is brought to you by Teach the Future, a global nonprofit dedicated to embedding futures literacy in education worldwide. Right now, we are all a part of a 24-hour global conversation about futures, creating a space where all generations, especially young voices, can share their visions, concerns, and action-driven projects towards a better tomorrow. Let's make this conversation start. You can find facilitator bios on the event page. Facilitators, take it away. I'm going to step in first because this is a session for our Young Voices Council, and we are excited to be presenting to you the work that we have been working on starting in last June. We have come together, and we hope that you enjoy this presentation. And at this point, I am going to turn it over to Jade.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Jade, and let's get started. Ask someone who's never experienced futures what the future is. What do they reach for? Prediction. They try to tell you what's going to happen, like the future is a destination you can look up on a map. Ask a room full of adults, parents, educators, professionals, and you'll hear the versions of the same thing. AI is going to change everything. The economy is going to shift. The climate is going to. And then they trail off because they don't actually know. Nobody does. And that uncertainty, the gap between wanting to know and not being able to, is where most people stop. We didn't stop. We are Generation Futures. We are the Young Voices Council, and today we will show you what that means. Every generation has worried about the future. That's not new. That's not what makes us different. And this is why we are more the same than different. What is new, what has never existed before, is a structured process for working with the future, not predicting it, not fearing it, working with it in schools. And in our generation, schools can teach it in any school, in any classroom, to any student, anywhere in the world. But that is what makes us Generation Futures. Process, not anxiety, agency. But let's test that. Let's see what most of us can actually do right now when we face the future. Next up, Hazel.
When you face a decision about the future, what do you do first? Use the chat box and type in your letter. A. Look for data and trends. B. Trust your experience and instincts. C. Talk to other people. Or D. Map the system producing it. We've got we've got a B. Make sure you put in the chat box which one you do. C, D, we've got a lot. Cool. A and B, B, C. Great. So if you picked A, good, you're reading signals. But signals without understanding the system will mislead you. B, that's your stance working. But instincts carry assumptions you haven't examined. C, you're already practicing invitation. But whose voices are missing? D, you're thinking structurally. But a map without action is a beautiful description of a problem nobody's solving. Everyone is a piece. None is a whole process. We predict. We worry. We wait. That's the default. That's what most schools teach, by not teaching anything else. Gen Futures has something else. Next up, Eve.
This process actually has a name, and it's called futures literacy. It goes beyond personality and is something that you can practice. It means knowing where you stand, what assumptions you're carrying, what systems you're inside of, and what influence you actually have in your community. It means paying attention to what's changing across the past, the present, and what might come next. And it also means shaping what emerges through thoughtful action. And the powerful part is that this can be taught to any student, and it goes beyond being curriculum design to being access and agency. So how does this actually work? Think of this as 3 flows. First, stance. You ask, where am I? What am I assuming? What am I missing? And this is the grounding that will never switch off. Second is inbound. You use this grounding to read what's coming, you scan your domain, imagine different futures, and clarify which direction feels worth building towards. Thirdly, outbound. And this is where you act. You start leading and you create change. And all these flows reinforce each other. What you learn shifts your assumptions, and that sharpens your own vision. Your actions reshape your stance. And this makes it come alive and where real agency comes in. Next up, Shobelini.
Your stance, the mindware that makes everything else possible. So, this is the mindware, 4 ways of seeing that change how you process everything. Let's start with perspectives. Where you stand shapes what you can see and what it hides. Everyone in this room sees futures literacy differently based on where they sit. A teacher sees curriculum. A parent sees their child's agency. A futurist sees methodology. None of those views are wrong. Every one of them is partial. And the only way to discover what's partial is to challenge your own assumptions actively, deliberately, repeatedly. What am I taking for granted? What feels like a fact but is actually a position? What would change if I'm wrong? That discipline, challenging assumptions while sitting with the uncertainty of not having the full picture, is the engine everything else in this process. Understanding change, not a list of terms to memorize. The recognition that change has structure. It comes from somewhere, inbound or outbound. It operates at a level personal, organizational, societal. It moves through sectors. It unfolds across time. It travels at a rate. Once you see that structure, change stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something you can read. Then, systems. They shift from looking at symptoms to seeing the structure underneath. Why do same problems persist regardless of who's in charge? Because the behavior you see is being produced by relationships, loops, and incentives you don't see until you do. And leadership, not authority, not a title someone gives you. The moment you decide that what you see matters enough to bring into the room, that you are going to communicate it through vision, through influence, through invitation, and take responsibility for what happens when you do. That's your mindware. And once you have built it, it doesn't turn off. Everything looks different. And I'm going to, okay, then next up is Shania.
It looks like Shania's screen has paused. Shania, are you with us?
Yes, sorry, technical difficulties. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. We can hear you. Maybe, yeah.
Can you
Oh,
see me now?
yes, you're great.
Thank you. Inbound change, using your stance mindware to anticipate what's coming. Now, your stance is working. You can see assumptions, systems change, and your own role. So what do you do with that? You turn it outward. You pick a domain, a territory you care about, and map it. Step 1, domain. What systems are actually working? What are the parts, the forces, the current error? This is where your stance and your mindware goes to work on something real. Step 2, expected futures. If nothing changes, if every trend continues, if every assumption holds, what happens? This prediction, it's following the evidence and naming it out loud, is powerful because most people have never done it. Step 3, alternative futures. But here's where future literacy breaks from prediction. You ask, what could happen? What if the assumptions are wrong? What if something unexpected arrives? You don't pick one future, you map a landscape of possibilities. Step 4, preferred futures. And then you choose which of these futures do you want to work towards. Not wishful thinking, a preferred future grounded in values and evidence, plausible, desirable, worth fighting for. This is where futures literacy becomes more than systems thinking. You're not just reading the present, you're mapping what's possible, and that map becomes the foundation for everything in outbound. Next up, arena.
Outbound change, leadership and vision, strategic planning, action. Once you can see the system and read the change, the question becomes, what do you do? Leadership and vision, strategic planning, action. This isn't a simple we care and we're angry. This is we understand the system. We've identified the leverage point. We've designed the intervention and we've anticipated the resistance. That's not passion, that's competence. Think about a problem you care about. Where would you intervene? Use the chat box and type in your letter.
Yes.
So I see C and B. More C's coming in. Yeah, C, C, C. I see C is a popular answer here. D and A. Another C. Good. Now, if you've chosen the option A, it's restructuring the system. But rules without belief change get worked around. B, opening up the system. But information without power to act creates informed frustration. C, deepest leverage. But belief change without structural support leaves people inspired and stuck. D, most common answer, an instinct. But putting resources into a broken structure feeds the problem. The process teaches you to see all four, understand what each can and cannot do, and choose strategically. Next up, Shyam.
Cheyenne? Lisa, I can't see the board at the moment. And you're on mute.
Okay. Shyam is not here, I don't think. Shyam is currently in Dubai, so there's a chance that he just could not make it. I'm gonna see if one of our leaders can take it from here to take Shyam's part. Irina, you were the last up. Do you want
Yes,
to
I
finish?
can continue.
Thank you.
Your change becomes someone else's reality. Two failure models, fear-mongering and false certainty. The response formula: acknowledge reality, name alternatives, and invite action. Generational futures doesn't persuade, we influence and invite. Strategic planning is not about creating a rigid plan. It's about setting a clear direction and making sure everyone understands the direction, commits to it, and aligns their energy toward it. The formula: external conditions plus internal aspirations equals strategic plans. You've already done the external work: domain analysis, expected futures, alternatives. Now you combine that with your internal aspirations, your values, your strengths, your resources, and you get strategy. 6 tools: vision, your preferred future made concrete and inspiring, not vague hope, a picture so vivid others can see it and feel it as well. Mission, your commitment to the world. What do you serve? What value do you create? What are the boundaries of what you can realistically commit to? Goals, specific, measurable milestones. And here is a key distinction: goals are things, not nouns, and nouns, not activities. Reduce wait time from 3 weeks to 3 days. That's a goal. Hold more meetings. That's an activity. Measures. How do you know you're making progress? Observable evidence. Early warning if you're off track. Strategies. High level approaches. Verbs, not nouns. These are the pathways you control. They leverage your strengths and your understanding of the system. Initiatives. First steps, specific projects with owners, timelines, and deliverables. 6 to 12 months. This is where momentum becomes visible. Key point: you develop these top down. Vision first, then mission, then goals, then down. Most people jump straight to the initiative, like, let's do this, without the alignment above them. That's why most action doesn't end up to anything. Every layer connects to the one above it. Nothing floats free. Next up, Koji.
Thank you. Action, up to now, this journey might have sounded solo. That's because we're students learning futures literacy. But Gen Futures is built to understand multiple ideas, multiple futures, multiple people. Action is where I becomes we. Ethics question our practical requirements. It's not an afterthought. So we'd think of the questions, yeah? Who benefits, what trade-offs, what are the limits, and how do we stay humble? Those are all questions that we have to think of and internalize as well. Furthermore, so what actually changes inside a person who goes through this process? I think that's a question that we all have to think of to a certain degree, because prediction becomes anticipation. You stop trying to guess and start mapping out possibilities. Fear becomes agency, not because you're less afraid, because you're mindware, because you have mindware that works really. Waiting becomes shaping. You stop enduring the future and start influencing it. Blame becomes structural understanding. You stop pointing at individuals and start seeing the systems producing the outcomes. Certainty becomes humility plus action. You act even when you don't know everything, because you never will, and you remain honest about what you don't know. So I would say that these are not certainty but agents, not prediction but preparation, not control but participation. These are all things we have to focus on. So because at the end of the day, when you predict and anticipate, you stop guessing and start mapping out possibilities. Fear becomes agency, so you become less afraid. You have midware that works. Waiting becomes shaping. Stop enduring the future, start influencing it. Blame becomes structural understanding. Stop pointing fingers at other individuals. See the system, see its flaws. And certainty becomes humility plus action. Act without knowing everything. Stay honest. So that's a rough sum up of what this was. So I'm now going to pass it on to Crispin.
Now that you hear the process, what would you want to practice first? Use the chat box and type in your letter. A. Examining my own assumptions. B. Reading systems and change. C. Communicating futures to others. D. Collaborating on action. I see many answers B, A, B, and C, D. A. That stands. Start. Pick one belief and ask, what am I assuming? What if it's wrong? Do that once a week. B. That's inbound. Start. Pick one problem and map it. Paths relationships loops. C. That's leadership. Start. Practice the formula in a real conversation. D. That's where I becomes V. Start. Find one person. Share your map. Ask what they see. Each one pulls you into the others. D. That's where I becomes V. Start, find one person, share your map, ask what they see. Each one pulls you into the others. The flows compound. Next up, Fatima.
Thank you. So, this is why we are Gen Futures, not because we care about the future, every generation does. The futures are not written, they never were, and now we know how to help write them. Next up, Urwa.
Tell us, what system did you see? Where did you choose to intervene? And who are you collaborating with? In Brazil, a council member examined math education in low income public schools and saw what everyone else missed. Students already had games like UNO and Monopoly, but no one had connected them to instruction. They redesigned those games to teach fractions, probability, and financial literacy. 520 students, 78% performance increase, presented to the Municipal City Council. In Lagos, a council member is building imagination labs where children use recycled materials to model a sustainable Lagos in 2050, then present a children's manifesto to state leadership, building agency in young people who are usually told to wait their turn. In Bangkok, a council member read the system of food waste in school cafeterias, identified patterns in what gets thrown down and why, and is now designing an AI powered tool that predicts how much food schools actually need. In India, a council member saw the digital divide not as a device problem but as a structural one. Access without skills changes nothing. They are collecting e waste and teaching computing, coding, and AI, multiple leverage points simultaneously. And a council member working in cancer diagnostics is collaborating with hospitals across 5 countries to build detection tools that works across borders. They are not one-off projects. Every one of them started by seeing the system, read what was changing, and choosing where to intervene. That's the process at work. Not somebody, not someday, right now. These are not hypothetical projects, these are real interventions. That's Gen Futures, not someday, right now. Next slide, please. Thank you. We started today by asking what happens when someone thinks about the future. Most people reach for a prediction. Most people trail off. Most people stop. We didn't stop, and now you know why. We are the Young Voices Council. We are Gen Futures, and the invitation is open to everyone in this room. The futures are not written, they never were. Thank you for being part of writing them with us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Irwa, for closing us off. And that was our presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay. Well, we are. Yes, that was so great. Thank you so much, Young Voices, for being brave and sharing and sharing a little bit about what we're doing together at the Young Voices Council. I guess we can take a moment and see if there is any noise in the chat box, if the audience have any questions or reactions to your presentation. Give it a moment to see. A lot of reactions, wonderful. Well, what the great thing is, if there are no questions or reactions or thoughts, we do have some Young Voice Councils in the room that are currently working on projects and knowingly or not are using these future literacy skills in their projects. Before I pick on anyone, I'm thinking of who I want to choose. Randi, is there anything you'd like to add before we?
Sure. In case you're just joining us and you are not a part of the Young Voices Council, a part of the council's work is to do campaigns for change. And the Young Voices Council, our campaign for change is educating communities and young people and schools and school officials and administrators, all things futures literacy. And so they have to have a really good command of the competencies and skills that are taught so that they can speak confidently to the decision makers, the stakeholders in their communities to be able to bring futures literacy to their campuses. And so you learned a little bit about that today. So for the next 15-20 minutes, what we would like to do now is hear from our Young Voices Council members, as Lisa said, about projects that you have worked on that you can give an example or a demonstration of a skill that you've learned subsequently that you have been using futures literacy all along. Do you want me to choose, or does somebody want to go first? I see somebody shaking your head. Yes. Does anybody want to go first? Is anybody brave enough to go first? Yes, no, maybe?
Oh, we do have a hand up from Ethan Julian. Yes, please, Ethan, go ahead, and your hand is up. Go ahead. Oh, is he on mute? Are they on mute?
Yep, I think he might be stuck on mute. Let me see if I can help him.
Hello. I want to talk about my project. My project is killing Ugaikare. Is my novel language, and is calling Espíritu Verde, green spirit. So I like it. We reforest, we clean the rivers, and we see the different animals that we have. So we invite the community to our organization, principally the young people and other people too, to participate in this. They drawing animals, they reforest, they see the river clean. So a beautiful activity that I like. I am a bird watcher. I have 3 years practicing it. So I have so much better birds that I see: house sparrow, linnate peaker, crimson front parrot, garden emerald, and different kinds of fishes. So for me, it's an opportunity, and the climate change for me is not just a threat; it's an opportunity to teamwork, to work together and build the better world for the future generations that we always want. And here's with this, I see different kind of birds. These are my binocular vortex. And so my ecology is so beautiful. We have so much better trees, and you can visit it. It's so beautiful. And last year, I have a terrible experience of tear gas and strikes about a politician or politics that nobody want here. So we participate, and I have photos here about how was the day. I have others. So much better people don't be agree with that opinion or that thing, and I be there, the mind. So I've been the young leader in that moment. I talk, I give my opinion, because that organization, deforestation, and don't reforest nothing. For me, that not was a good idea, because the drought, the contamination, so are the principle powerful of the climate change. So actually, I give climate education to other communities. I travel to other schools to teach to classmates about what is important to take action, and do the difference right now. So last year, I visited one organization in Almirante, and I talk about birds, trees, nature, and reforestation. So that's one point that I want to all people, all young leaders, children do in this world to build a better world. That's my opinion, and I like so much better birds. They are the powerful. They are voice of the nature, and if they disappear, we lose our future. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Ethan. We can hear in your voice your passion for what you're doing. If I run through the 6 tools that move from direction to action, I see and I hear your vision. I see your mission. I'm hearing your mission and core purpose, with deforestation and birds and the ecosystem and and what's happening in your landscape right now. Um, and then I see the leadership initiative that you're taking, going classroom to classroom. And I believe you're a young voice. You're on the younger side of the young voices. So age is not stopping you. Age is not a limit. You're still shaking and moving, and it's humbling and inspiring, Ethan. Thank you.
I will. Can I
Mhm.
also add that you described the systems with such vision that everybody on the call could truly understand what the system that you were describing and the change that you were wanting to make. And that is such an important skill to be able to share the change that you want to see in your community. So bravo, that was absolutely inspiring. Who would like to go next?
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Aya's hands up.
Hi everyone. So I wanted to just answer the question, the Lisa questions. So when I work on my projects, I definitely always try to use the future skills that I'm learning. Also, we're working on the Young Voices Council, and also in a very practical way, not just like viewing as a concept. So firstly, for example, I always look at my projects, at the problems that I'm solving from a bigger perspective. So if I'm leading some project, I don't just ask what's the issue or what's the challenge. I always try to ask why is this happening, who is affected, and why may change if we or I as myself intervene. And that helps me think more strategically instead of just reaction emotionally and just yapping about the that problem or that challenge. And I also rely a lot on critical thinking and evidence as a future skill. And when I collect feedback or run surveys on some of my projects, I don't immediately assume that I'm right on some topic. I look at patterns, question what might be missing, what might be like skipping from my side, and try to base decisions on real information rather than my own assumptions. And finalizing adaptability, of course, the most useful skill that we're learning also in working in the Young Voices Council, and things rarely go exactly as planned. When something does not work, I usually try to treat it as a feedback, adjust the strategy, and just keep moving forward instead of giving up and just, crying that something didn't work. So yeah, for me, using these future skills means thinking critically, staying flexible, and also working with others in a thoughtful, meaningful way, especially when such outcomes and results are uncertain. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aya. And I believe, Aya, you have a session coming up soon, which you'll be sharing a little bit more. We'll be learning a little bit more about what it is you're doing.
Okay, I'd like to share. So right now I'm working on several projects, but the main one that I'm like really passionate about is the Safe Way to School. So it's the project for pedestrians for their safety, and we're just right now like reaching out to the community, reaching out to my neighborhoods, and trying to build systems that we will suggest to the like to the people, to the higher one, and just try to solve the problems that we're facing, that we cannot just ignore daily, that we're just facing daily. And right now, as a result, we've reached some results. We've reached some contacts, communications with the governments, with city government, and we're just right now trying to solve the problem in my own like radius of community. So yeah. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Aya. If any audience have any thoughts or reactions to what Aya shared? Lots of reactions. Wonderful. We have someone in the chat box. Scott says, while it is really cool to hear such an engaged group of youth really engaging in futures literacy, way to go. Heart is sufficiently warmed for the year. Thanks, Scott.
So our next question is to our Young Voices Council, and we're going to ask our Young Voices leaders and to tell us about your experience on the Young Voices Council throughout the years. Because our leaders have been a part of the council for the last 2 years, so they have a longer understanding of what we've been doing. Shobalini, can I actually start with you and you give us an idea of the things that you've worked on and how far Young Voices Council has come to this date?
Okay, hello everyone, I'm Shobalini, and I don't know if you can hear me clearly. Yes. Okay, so I've been with Young Voices for 2 years now. So I have joined Young Voices in 2024, and I joined it through the NGFP award, and I learned a lot. We have had the sessions with Dr. Peter Bishop, and of course Lisa, Amna, Randy, everyone. It was just so heartwarming. And then when we ended our council, then we joined as leader. Then I've been to the summer camp too. So the topic I work on is mainly equality. So it's about the marginalized people. I am a marginalized in my community. My community is marginalized in my country. So I'm pointing out the issues my community is facing to the world. That if my community is facing such things, then throughout the world, in everywhere in world, I think the marginalized communities all feel the same issues. The teens in marginalized communities, we are already teens. We have so much stress in our lives. Like we have studies, we have adulting, we are learning to manage ourselves. We are learning to manage life, and all of this while we are growing up, like physically, like mentally. And I used a phrase in the last meeting that our frontal lobe is not still developed. And I think fighting all these issues while facing physical and mental issues ourselves, it takes teens a lot of courage to speak up, to finally express our views. And Young Voices is a really safe place. It provides us a safe environment to speak up, to share our thoughts, our views. And it the whole council, the whole all the meetings, it gives us a map, a roadmap, a guideline to how to enrich our projects, how we can enlarge our projects, how we can be more efficient our projects. And honestly, these steps, these the options we have had, the decision making skills, we can use it so many other places too, like in our normal lives, in our a lot of us are going through college admissions, and I think that's a really hard decision to make. And I really think I have college admissions this year, like June or July, and I really think I will be using the decision making skills. So I'll just say this, I will end with this, that Young Voices is a really safe place. It's like my second home. I'm like really, really comfortable with all the members, all the mentors, all the members, and they're so respectful and polite to each other. It's like a perfect space for me. And like teens, teens who are like me, who want to do something but can't figure it out. I think we have so many people who are here but who don't know what project they want to work on. I was like that too. Then with working here, like while working here, you would explore yourself. I think that's what I like the most. It helps us explore ourselves, our souls, what we want, and how to materialize that, how to make that real, how to make that appear. Thanks.
Mm. Thank you so much, Shobalini. That was very sweet, thoughtful message that you sent out into this space. And speaking of third spaces, maybe this is your third space. If we're pinning off of the first session, then that's what their topic was about. So it's a nice transition to what we're doing here. Thank you so much. And Shobalini, you had the opportunity, you're very dedicated as a Young Voice leader. And although you couldn't join us in Dubai Future Forum last year in the physical, you still showed up online. You were the only, because it's a physical event. And so we were able to make an exception and have your little face on the computer, and it joined our round table. So that was really wonderful. Thank you for your commitment and for being here. We still have some time, Randi. I think anybody else want to go, or should I pick?
Lisa, I'm gonna let you pick. Okay, guys, who's next, Lisa?
Well, this is who I'm gonna pick on. I'm gonna pick on two people and see who wants to go. Ellie, you recently shared on our platform that you won Best in Show in the NASA-backed Plant the Moon Challenge.
Yeah, I don't have it right now though, opened.
Oh, that's okay. Is there anything that you want to share regarding that? Any takeaways, what the focus was? And
Well, the focus was basically on researching hypothesis and focusing on the engineering design process and experimenting with lunar regolith. And the key takeaways that I took were just designing an experiment and designing a research question.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, that sounds like that was quite the win to be part of that series in the Institute of Competition Sciences. So great job on that win, Ellie, and for being so humble and sharing. Irwa, are you there? You also recently participated in the Model United Nations, and you were part of the United Nations Security Council. Just curious if you want to share a little bit about that experience as a leader.
Yeah, sure. First of all, hello everyone. Like, let me tell you, it was an event at my university. It was an event of United Nations Model Simulation, and I was part of United Nations Security Council, and I was representing United States of America as a delegate there in United Nations Security Council, and it was really a wonderful experience. Firstly, I felt extremely nervous, but everything went well. And at the end of the ceremony, I just got the Best Delegate Award, and it was really so astonishing. It's a long story, but what I would like to say here is that winning that award was just not my personal accomplishment. It came deep down when I thought it was like I just thought how much big role Teach the Future has played in that. Couple of years ago, when I joined Teach the Future Young Voices Network, I had a lot of fear of public speaking. You even can't imagine how much fear I always have of public speaking. But after joining Teach the Future as a Young Voices Council member, like my core team members, Lisa, Randi, they always give me a chance. Even I stumbled, I mumbled, but on every event, I I know it was the first event that was Glow. It was a very wonderful and prestigious event. And out of nervousness, something happened that I couldn't even join that event. But like I was super nervous, and Randy just pretended it's all fine, nothing happened. And they always gave me a chance, they always gave me an opportunity. So, like, after a couple of years, I have a lot of things to tell. And let me tell you one thing. I always seen inequality in my society in terms of linguistic inequality. So after joining Teach the Future, I had the opportunity to work on that project too. That is basically Lingua Divide, that addresses the issue of linguistic inequality in South Asia. And we are currently working on that project. And my mentors like Liz and Randy have guided me a lot, and Dr. Peter Bishop, by taking future fundamentals course, I was able to do my project in a more wonderful way by using futures thinking, by using systems thinking, by using deep model. Like, I can't put into words what Teach the Future meant to me, and joining Teach the Future changed my life completely. I simply can't put into words. It was the bestest decision of my life. And if you guys like want, I can talk about Teach the Future, my experiences for hours and hours. I have a lot of stories, and I would just like to tell you all, the world needs more spaces like Teach the Future, more safe spaces. You have the chance to fail, you have the chance to experiment, and no one is going to judge you at all. We all are like a family. Like, we all are really like a family. As Shobelini said, Teach the Future and Young Voices Council is a second home. Thank you so much.
Shout out to all our Young Voice Council members. Thank you all so very much. I'd say I want to keep going, but I guess we're drawing up to that hour, and so we're probably going to close up here. Any last minute questions or thoughts? Thank you for those that were able to share, and the sharing doesn't stop here. As you all know, we have all of the upcoming events. We'll be at South by Southwest in Austin in just a week. In just about a week, we'll be also sharing on that global stage, as well as the Glow stage that we did last year, and the many more opportunities that arise. So, Urwa, thank you for your words. Thank you, Shobelini.
Yes, thank you to the participants for joining, and for the Young Voices Council members and leaders, and Lisa and Amna for this wonderful experience. I'm always left wanting more, and just so glad I get to be able to work with and know all of you. So, and I know Lisa and Amna share that with me. Ethan, we are wrapping up. Can you please put your question in the chat box so that I can make sure that the next session starts online? Thank you. Thank you. So at this point, I am going to wrap us up. As we wrap up this inspiring session, thank you all for being a part of World Futures Day Young Voices. Your perspectives and participation have made this conversation truly meaningful. The journey doesn't end here. New facilitators and fresh conversations begin at the top of each hour, and you're welcome to stay and continue exploring future possibilities with us. We do have some quick announcements. If you enjoyed today, this kind of learning doesn't have to stop here. It continues through Teach the Future's global online youth futures community, which you've experienced today. Right now, we are offering the following learning experience: our Campaigns for Change. It builds award-winning projects using futures literacy skills. Join Young Voices FutureWise Institute, while we apply these skills directly to your active projects and future initiatives. And a part of World Futures Day, we are offering limited pricing for the Campaigns of Change